What's up, family? Just felt like dropping some knowledge on you, some things that I was thinking about, and really just wanted to share. There's a lot going on, uh, and a lot of people are leaving. Yeah, Kobe is pretty big. I've seen it affect so many people. Um, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this in my lifetime, where one person has affected so many people. And I mean, really to the heart. And it's also affected me. I'm a big Kobe fan. But I'm not talking about Kobe. Even Big Shiz. A lot of you guys probably don't know Big Shiz, but if those that know Big Shiz, he died early, and he was a great, great producer, great music maker. Great. Loved his wife. I think he had a couple of kids. I'm not sure. I forget. I think a daughter or two. But at the end of the day, what I wanted to highlight, what I wanted to share with you, is that we got to talk. Families got to talk. Marriages, especially marriages. I have a heart for marriages, and those that know me, those that don't know me, but I have a huge heart for marriages. Obviously, I've been married 12 years, so I know the ups, downs, in and outs at this point of kind of what goes on. Nowhere near an expert, that's for sure. But I do believe in sharing what I know so somebody else does not have to go down that same road. But anyway, my main highlight that I want to talk about and illuminate is the fact that, again, we need to talk. You need to talk. Have a real communication with the people you love. And it's not, I hear everybody saying, grab somebody, hug somebody, love somebody. That's awesome. That's great. But some of us need to take time to pull people aside that have offended us. We have unforgiveness. We have hurt. And the way that people are dying, and then we see that God can take some, or allows, or somebody's life can be taken and somebody's life can end all of a sudden. And I've been thinking, I'm like, man, I would rather talk to somebody rather than to wait and then they're gone. That's a lot harder than the difficult conversation of letting somebody know that you offended them or that they offended you, especially with your wife or your spouse and your fathers, mothers, and sons to fathers and fathers to sons, and mothers to daughters and daughters to mothers. I think is very, very imperative. Very, very imperative. You can ask my wife. I'm huge on talking. I'm huge on having real communication. I mean, real communication. I'm not talking about, hey, how are you doing? How was your day? Man, get out of here. What's going on? Let's talk for real. No. You're not going to hit me with the, yeah. Okay, I got it. No, there needs to be a real conversation. And you'll be amazed at what you find out. And I want to say this. It's amazing how we get around certain people, colleagues, and people that we work with years and years and years. And we get around our family one-on-one time, and we don't talk about anything. And I'm not saying that's everybody. You may talk, but I'm talking about what I see on a large scale. And that has to subside. I mean, God is he's getting the point across. He's getting the point across that time is of the essence. Time is not promised to anybody. Like now, I don't know when I pull off from here where I am currently right now. I'm not sure. But one thing I am sure and confident about is that everybody that I think I have needed to talk to and have a one-on-one and a true conversation with, I've done that. And I want to share with you the same knowledge is that, especially your wife and I can speak for the husband because I'm a husband, especially with your wife. The good book, the word, the Bible says that, man, don't have aught against one another. And he talks to husbands a lot about dealing with their wife. Love your wife. Why does he keep saying that? Because I've learned early in marriage that it's easy to get offended by the person you love because you love them that much. So their words have what we, my wife, call weight. So somebody out here in the streets could say something to me and I could just, whatever. But if my wife says that same thing, it's like, what did you say? So we have to understand that it's very important to stop and have a conversation. I don't care how upset you are. I don't care how angry you are. Well, I do, because you don't need to have you don't need to talk when you're super upset or you're super angry, but you need to calm down and not say, okay, I'm just putting it to the side. I'm not going to worry about it. No. Everybody's going to feel the tension. At work, your job is the people, the customers, your kids. I mean, dude, it even seems like your car. I mean, if those that really have been on the earth for a while and have some wisdom, if you're harboring bad feelings and negative energy and unforgiveness and all these things, it just seems like your clothes don't even fit right. I'm serious. Like, you can't find anything to wear. I mean, the food doesn't taste good. I mean, the service is horrible. Everything just seems like it just starts to go out the window when you have some type of tension towards somebody, and especially when they're in the room with you. And I like something that my wife just told me. She said, babe, if you are good when you're away from somebody and you're like, oh man, I think I've gotten over it. But if you get around that person, those people, and you're back in that same feeling, you hadn't got over it. You hadn't forgiven those people. You haven't cast off that negative energy that is plaguing you. So I want to actually share that with you as well. When we say, hey, I don't want to deal with that person, and as long as I'm away from that person, I'm okay. But when I'm around these people, then it comes flooding back to me, the anger, the frustration. So you have to be able to be around the people that offend you and be okay. That's how you know you've grown. That's how you know that you've taken it to another level. You have to first pray for it, pray about it, and ask God to give you the strength, because that type of strength is spiritual strength. That type of strength is a real type of strength, to be able to, like Jesus said, to love your enemies, to love the people that have affected you, that have off-ended you the most, taking you off course. Anger takes you off course. It takes you out of sobriety. It inebriates you. I mean, seriously. Same way when a person gets drunken or gets drunk and gets out of their mind. If you watch somebody that's angry or depressed, it's the same symptoms and characteristics of a drunken person, or a person that is drunk or high on a substance. They're stupor, lackadaisical. I may be saying that word wrong, but at the end of the day, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you get angry, dude, it all goes down the drain. And I just especially want to say that too as well to husbands and a lot of men. A lot of us men struggle with anger, and we don't talk about it. That's what's so frustrating, that now that I'm growing older and wiser, it's like, man, the very thing, man, forget how many points that Steph Curry had. Your marriage is dying. I don't care how many touchdowns. See, that shows you how much I'm into that stuff. Whoever these running backs and quarterbacks and all the LeBron James. Yeah, I know LeBron James. So who cares how many points LeBron had? When your marriage is going down the drain, when your job is going down the drain, when you're going down the drain, and you need to talk to somebody. And I'm speaking loudly because I now understand how important it is to communicate. To grab your son, even with me and my son, he's 6. And sometimes too much time, I find that too much time goes by and it creates a rift. Even though he's just 6, it creates a situation where we're like, hey, and I'm like, no, I can't allow this to happen between me and my son. And I know that's just not me. I know there's a lot of other relationships where it has gotten completely out of hand how much you don't communicate. Yeah, and the same thing with God. The same thing with God. That's the first person you should be communicating with. When you communicate with God, you're saying in your faith, in your spirit, you're saying, God, I trust and I know that you're real. That's the first thing you're saying when you pray. And then the next thing when you pray and you give these things to God and you say, show me. There's a scripture that says, ask for wisdom and God will give it to you liberally. He'll give it to you freely. But your faith has to connect you to that gift of God. But at the end of the day, the main thing I just wanted to share with you, and I wanted to encourage you when you hear this, is that please, the word says, I beseech you, I beg you with all my heart, don't sleep in separate rooms. Do it until you calm down. That's for sure. Do it until you calm down and God give you some stamina to withstand and go against what the devil is trying to do to you. Also, too, is choose. Some things just boil down to making a choice. You got to make a choice. Like now, I make a choice. Like, no, man, I'm not going to have just a rinky-dink, around the way conversation with somebody. I know that we need to have a conversation. I know we need to have a conversation. And I'm not about to sit here and shoot the breeze for long when I know we need to talk. And that's another thing you can't. Yeah, you're right. You cannot push. You cannot push a conversation on somebody that's not ready. I'll admit that you can't push it on somebody that's not ready, especially when it's a heavy, tense situation, which some things that you guys have to cover. But I do want to make sure that I get it across to you that it is imperative, pertinent, very, very, very important that you take the time to pull somebody aside, not just to hug them, not just to love them. I think everybody in America, everybody in the world understands that now. Find somebody, love them, hug them. You don't know when they're going to go. No, yeah, that's good. But the next thing we need to talk about is find that brother that you hadn't talked to in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, because of y'all's marriages, the females don't talk or whatever this stuff I hear going on. You and your wife, y'all in the same household, you working, she's working, y'all paying bills, taking care of the kids, but y'all don't talk, y'all don't have sex. That's a whole nother conversation that needs to be talked about. If you got a real homeboy, a real friend, and y'all both are married, these are the things you need to be talking about, bro. What's your lust like? That's a whole nother segment. Lust. That's not something cool to talk about. Hey, bro, what's your lust look like, man? Lust is real. Lust is something that's breaking up marriages, something that's breaking up homes, breaking up, making you lose men and women losing their jobs because of lust. Can't control it, uncontrollable. But nobody's talking about it. Nobody's saying anything about it. Nobody's saying anything, and I am not status quo. And I made a choice not to be status quo. I don't care about sticking out. I don't care about going against the grain. I don't care about what y'all tweet. People that look at this may say whatever. I don't care because I know the truth and I know what the truth has done for me. So anyway, I'm already at 14 minutes. So I know you guys supposedly have a 5-minute attention span, which is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I just wanted to drop that knowledge on it. Hey, put a comment down there. Let me know. Even your haters, let me know what you think too. I want to know what your haters think because I know a lot of times what y'all say has some truth in it. But yeah, I want to hear your comments. I want to know what you got to say about this, and I want to know if it blessed you as well, to encourage me to keep sending this kind of stuff out. But at the end of the day, bro, we need to have a real conversation. You need to have real conversation with people. You need to have real conversation with people on your job, your pastor, your friends, ministers, people in your social circle, mother, your brother, your sister. Just make it a point this week, this day, this month, this year, that man, we're not going to shoot the breeze without talking about what's really going on. All right. Love y'all. Peace.